Well, as we mentioned, the Senate has passed a bill approving nearly $500 billion in coronavirus relief. The bill includes more than $300 billion to ensure paychecks for businesses, $75 billion for hospitals, and $25 billion for testing. But the bill does not include many priorities sought by Democrats, including hazard pay for frontline workers, money for the Postal Service, states and cities, or for a rent freeze. Congresswoman Marcia Fudge joins me now. She wants to talk about the legislation. She represents Ohio's 11th district and is also the former chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us. You know, according to Politico, banks are warning that the Paycheck Protection money could run out in as little as 2 days because of the limited funds. Do you believe this latest bill is enough to help people?
Well, I think it's probably enough to help the people they want to help, which is our businesses and those who are already doing very, very well. What it does not do is help everyday people. I don't know how you put in place a bill and don't even think about putting in money for state and local governments. So they are your police, your fire, your EMS, your teachers, a lot of frontline people that are going to be left out of this process. How do you not put money in for those states that are going to be running out of unemployment insurance, which is happening across the country as we speak? How do you say that it's okay to not take care of our postal workers, or to say, look, we gave you a reprieve from your rent and from your mortgage for 2 months, but now we want it all at one time? How do you not take care of people who are going to food banks every single day or every week? We are not treating all of our citizens the same, and that is my concern about the bill.
What more, Congresswoman, do you feel is needed? What would you like to see happen that you feel could make a tangible difference on the ground?
Well, the average person is not a small business owner, and so they're not going to feel a lot of what we are going to vote on tomorrow. Even though I think it's a great bill for what it does, is it enough? I don't think it's enough, no. But the one thing that we must do, we have to increase by at least 15% benefits for SNAP. We have to do more by way of people who are unemployed and uninsured. We need to make sure that testing is directed to communities of highest need, those being Black and brown communities. We need to make sure that every child has access to distance learning, which we do not today. There is much that needs to be done, but it's not in this bill. We need to be working on another bill now to at least let most people, those people that call my office every day, know that we care as much about them as we do about small businesses.
One thing that to me personally has been very evident is income inequality during the time of this pandemic and that divide. What do you believe needs to happen? You are coming from a very influential state that will be closely watched in November. What do you think this election is going to revolve around for who ends up in the White House in November?
I think it's going to revolve around who cares for people, who really cares about the person who right now is struggling just to put food on their table, to feed their kids, to pay their rent, to pay their mortgage. Who cares most about making sure that the unemployed are connected to jobs once the economy starts to rebound? Who is going to do the most for the people who have the least? At least for me, that is the person that I'm going to support, the person who I know cares most about those in highest need. We have to look at now what has happened as a result of COVID-19. It has laid bare for me and for the rest of the world what we have known for a very long time, and that is not just income inequality, but racial inequality, class inequality. All of those things have been laid bare as we see what is happening through this pandemic, through this epidemic, whatever you choose to call it. And we have to not just take care of it now, but make sure that it does not continue in the future.
The governor of your state, Republican Mike DeWine, is planning to begin reopening some businesses starting Friday. You sit on the White House task force for reopening the country. Is it too soon, considering Ohio saw a record number of cases in recent days?
I think it is too soon, yes. I believe that we should start trying to find some way for some of our businesses on the edge to try to get back to work? Yes, but not at the cost of people's health. I think it needs to be done in a way that makes some sense. I like the fact that our governor and the governors of the surrounding states are working together to try to find a way to make it work. But I don't think you just open up government. I think it is a mistake. And I think that at least he has tried to put some guardrails on it. I just don't know if that's enough.
You know, we had the mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, on a little bit earlier. We've seen protests, you know, in front of the state capitol. When we spoke to the mayor of Atlanta, we were talking about this divide between sometimes local officials versus the governors who want to reopen. How do you feel that you bridge that divide when people want to get back up and running, but there is still the health concern that can't be forgotten?
Let me just say this. I hear a lot of talk about freedom. Freedom only works when it's something that they want. I don't want to really hear that foolishness that they're talking about, because to me it is foolish. If we know in fact that people are dying because of a virus that we can control by staying home or by doing the other things that they have asked us to do, then we ought to do that. I clearly understand people's desire to want to get back to a normal life. I don't know that we will be normal for a very long time. But I do believe that it is important for every citizen to respect other people's freedom. And so I should be free to not have to catch COVID-19 because you choose to go out, not socially distance, not wear a mask, and just go out and walk the streets. I think that I have the same rights you have. And so I believe that these people are being encouraged to go into the streets by those who believe that this is still a hoax, for those who believe that nothing's going to happen to them. I think it is a very bad mistake for anyone to encourage this kind of behavior.
Congresswoman Marcia Fudge, grateful you could join us.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.